आइए आइए भाई साहब, आइए आइए, पार चलने वाले आ जाओ भाई, आइए नाव जा रही भाई, आइए पार में जिसको चलना आइए।
Chinu is a boatman. He lives in Kanpur, a town in Uttar Pradesh, and begins his day with something that he has always known. Day after day, he rides a current, carrying passengers on a short voyage across the Ganga. He has grown up making a living, aging with the river, and holds it in high regard.
हाँ भैया, थोड़ा सा जरा और दब के, और दब लो जरा। हाँ ये भैया हमारे यहाँ गंगा जी जो हैं, हमारी देखा जाए इनको माँ का रूप दिया गया है, इनको हमारे यहाँ माँ माना जाता है।
The river Ganga rises in the western Himalayas. This ancient river is born of nature and has been revered by millions of believers through the centuries. By its very existence, it reflects the ebb and flow of life around it. It is home to 140 different species of fish, crocodiles, aquatic mammals like dolphins and turtles, among many others. Some of these are threatened. Ganga has been the source of life and livelihood for many. Pious as it is believed to be, it cannot exist without water. Gushing forth approximately 2,500 kilometers, it runs across fertile lands and townships that have been standing by the mere virtue of its existence. Many legends speak of its birth. As those who seek to be blessed by the river are rowed across by boatmen like Chinu, he encounters a multitude of passengers, each with his own need to get across the river.
हमारे यहाँ भैया सभी प्रकार की सवारियाँ आती हैं, कोई गरीब भी होता है, अमीर भी होता है, देसी भी होता है, विदेशी भी होता है। सबसे ज़्यादा करके आदमी यहाँ जो है, कोई भैया स्नान करने के वास्ते आता है, कोई मुंडन कराने के वास्ते आता है। गंगा जी को उसमें नहाया, नहाने के बाद में फिर मुंडन वगैरह कराते हैं। कोई स्नान करता है, स्नान करने के बाद में देव दर्शन करता है, देवताओं के पूजन पाठ करता है, गंगा माता का पूजन करता है और स्वच्छ जल को ले जाता है अपने घर में, इसको पवित्र मानता है।
The shlokas or religious chants praise this magnanimous water body. Sadhus, saints and seers perceive their being in touch with this holy water a trip to the other world. The evolving history of this river is marked by its own dialectics. On one hand, there is the perceived purity of it, and on the other, the factors that stand as its nemesis. At present, the river is up against the demanding forces of growing population, unchecked pollution, the ever-increasing extraction of water for irrigation, industry and hydropower, and the dwindling natural species that it nurtures. More significantly, the impending effects of climate change have started to manifest. The river is getting choked. There is little room for it to so much as catch a deep breath.
That the Ganga is a mighty river. That's the image in our mind. We were told that the Ganga is a goddess. So when you think of a goddess, you don't think of a tiny stream in the middle of a floodplain that extends over 10 kilometers at places.
प्रदूषण पहले कम था, आज जैसे जैसे शहर बढ़ता गया वैसे वैसे प्रदूषण ज़्यादा बढ़ता गया। हमारे यहाँ भैया इस शहर में 50 नाले और 50 जगह की टेंडरियाँ और घरेलू जल ये भी सब जो है गंगा को प्रदूषित करता है। सैकड़ों तो नाले यहाँ पर खुलेआम गिर रहे हैं।
People like Chino, who are in touch with the river for most of the day, can only see a fraction of what's contaminating the water. The problem literally runs much deeper, and there is more to believe in this case than to see.
Right now it has become a cocktail of deadly chemicals in place like Kanpur, which is feeding river Ganga with 30 crore liters of raw sewage and also 4 crore liter of toxic tannery wastewater, which is a deadly combination of variety of chemicals. So the people who are drinking this water are getting affected. People are having various kinds of stomach ailments, skin problems, and I know the villages where people are affected by the polluted waters of river Ganges.
The health of the river has raised many a concern. For Chino, this is worrisome too, but it is not clear to him where change can begin.
ये नाला गिर रहा है भैया, ये कभी कभी इतना प्रदूषित और इतना गंदगीदार पानी गिरता है, इससे बहुत बदबू आती है। आदमी को यहाँ बड़े दिक्कत परेशानी होती है, इसीलिए यहाँ पर सवारियाँ ज़्यादा लेकर के नहीं आते हैं। ये भैया हमारे जीवन काल के पहले से गिर रहा है, करीब 40-45 वर्ष से तो हम ही देख रहे हैं, हमारे पूर्वज लोग भी देखते रहे हैं। उसी से नदी प्रदूषित होती चली जा रही है, पता नहीं इसका क्या होगा।
It is high time that we understand this and we do interventions. Interventions in the sense that all people together should act on it. So, unless until it becomes a people program, this is not going to happen.
Despite the manifestation of these problems, the course of the river is far from arriving at a dead end. Many organizations, WWF being one of them, have joined forces for the revival of the Ganga.
In this situation, because as a conservation organization, we feel that water ecosystems, river systems and freshwater systems are extremely important both for human well-being and for nature. We thought it is really time to highlight the plight of our rivers and to do something serious on river ecosystems.
Today, over 200 cities and towns extend along the banks of the Ganga. Much of their sustenance is tied up with the industries set up in their vicinity. These industries are key players in the economy. For most part, their relationship with the river is intended to be symbiotic. However, the issue at hand concerns both quality and quantity. Government estimates say that 1/5 of the total pollution emanates from these industries. And to tackle industrial waste levels, effective waste management practices are a remedy. Recycling treated wastewater will result in reduced quantities of effluent. These are small strides, but they can slowly yield a considerable impact if the industry adopts such practices like this paper factory near Meerut.
We are consuming 6,000 kL of water per day. The all kind of showers, that the fresh water showers are in operation. Gradually, we are eliminating that shower with the backwater showers. So gradually it is being carried out. In some portion we have been able to do it. In paper making section we have to do it. By that the freshwater consumption will be reduced and overall water consumption will be reduced in that way.
Also adding to the levels of contamination is domestic sewage that accounts more than 3/4 by volume of the total pollution level. Somewhere then, the balance has been disturbed. Herein lies the dual predicament, clasping hands in prayer to the river on one hand, and on the other, pillaging it with dirt that chokes it with each passing day. However, hope still floats.
3 types of technologies can be utilized. First is sewage treatment plants, commonly conventionally used. Second is decentralized treatment system, DTS system, and third, in supplementation of these two, could be in situ bioremediation, by use of microbial consortia in the running battery of nalas, what already has been proven, it's worthy.
As for domestic sewage, technologies such as bioremediation seem to have adequate potential in reducing pollutants. Using the metabolism of microorganisms, bioremediation treats pollutants and converts them to harmless products. Cost-effective and easy to implement, the scientific intervention was piloted by WWF in Kanpur and Allahabad. The National Ganga River Basin Authority and Central Pollution Control Board have also initiated bioremediation projects in several locations, some of which are in the Ganga Basin.
तो अब इसमें कुछ चीज़ों के बारे में जो एक्सपेरिमेंट आपका हुआ बायोरेमेडिएशन के बारे में जो कि जू में किया था, तो उसके इनिशियल रिजल्ट्स अच्छे बताए गए, लेकिन जो स्टडीज़ होनी चाहिए इसके साथ उसमें अभी काफ़ी कुछ करना बाकी। और इस एक्सपेरिमेंट को हम लोग आगे चलाएं कि इसमें कॉस्ट इफेक्टिवनेस कहाँ तक है और किस हद तक इसको हम एक सक्सेसफुल मॉडल के तौर से इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। तो एक नया इनिशिएटिव है और किस तरीके से अल्टरनेटिव बन सकता है, इसके बारे में हम लोगों को एफर्ट करने की ज़रूरत है। और अगर बन सका अल्टरनेटिव तो इट विल बी समथिंग वेरी गुड।
It goes without saying that each tiny drop amounts to an ocean of prospects.
हम जब बचपन में देखा करते थे तो लोग जाल वगैरह डालते तो बड़ी बड़ी मछलियाँ फंसती थीं, कछुए भी फंसते थे, कभी कभी सूस वगैरह भी फंस जाती थी जाल में और बहुत बड़ा बड़ा होता था। लेकिन अब समयानुभाव बहुत मछली का मारा जाना और पानी में प्रदूषण बढ़ना, ना कछुआ दिखाई पड़ता है, ना मछली ज़्यादा दिखाई पड़ता है, ना सूस दिखाई पड़ता है। पहले मगर वगैरह भी दिखाई पड़ता था, लेकिन अब वो भी एक कभी कदार कहीं दिख गया तो दिख गया, बरसते अब नहीं दिखता है। क्यों ख़त्म हो गया, क्या है इसका, कोई अब हम तो विकल्प नहीं बता सकते क्या कारण।
As observed quite clearly, signs of life that characterized the Ganga are now diminishing. People like Chinu express concerns about not just the fall in the quantity of fish, but other aquatic life as well. Scientifically speaking, these are parameters and indicators of the river's health. The polluted river now struggles to support the life that depends on it. There have been attempts to salvage the life sustained by the river and the longevity of the river itself. Recognizing the need of the hour, WWF has furthered the cause of restoring the vibrant and ecologically significant aquatic life of the Ganga. In Narora, about 150 kilometers from New Delhi, turtle eggs, a seed of life, have found another home. As part of the conservation initiatives, these eggs are now being harbored in hatcheries. The legacy of preserving life is being passed on. Gharials, also an endangered species, have found shelter in the waters of the Ganga in Hastinapur. As a conservation initiative of Uttar Pradesh Forest Department and WWF, the gharials join the diverse aquatic population of this river, enriching its life. Community involvement is crucial to these intervention procedures. Reduced use of chemical fertilizers over time has led to less runoff in the river. Villagers can now count on alternative options of livelihood, which cuts down on the fishing. Cooperation breeds new life. The boatman finds time in the day to nourish and replenish his body by indulging in a little meal. His meal comprises preparations from food crops that come from the very land that the Ganga is meant to irrigate and help flourish.
हमारे घर परिवार में भैया कुछ लोग जो है खेती बाड़ी भी करते हैं, कोई लौकी करेला कदुआ का बाड़ी करता है, और हम 2 भाई नाव चलाते हैं। गंगा कटरी में हर प्रकार का अनाज, हर प्रकार की दाल, सब चीज़ पैदा होती है। हर चीज़ की बहुत ही उपजाऊ जमीन है।
All of these farms are part of the Ganga Basin, a fertile stretch of land known for its agrarian produce. However, its water consumption patterns raise some pertinent questions. This land is struggling to cope with the problem that lie beneath its surface. It is short of groundwater that irrigates and nurtures all forms of life. It becomes imperative at this stage to get a clear, grounded idea of the basin and the problems faced by its population on account of increasing climate variables. Here, what is known as VA or Vulnerability Assessment Study is undertaken as a tool to determine the different kinds of vulnerability with respect to ecosystems and communities. It is an essential step in designing a climate change adaptation plan for a region or sector. The adaptation strategy, developed by WWF India in consultation with local partners and communities, is focused on building resilience against climate risks by piloting efforts to increase water use efficiencies in agriculture and enhance storage capacities in rural villages. A case in point, the Shivrajpur block in Kanpur Dehat, one of the many areas in the Ganga basin, is facing issues with the erratic and unpredictable rainfall patterns, reduced groundwater levels, and excessive dependence on conventional chemical agricultural inputs. Buddha, a farmer in Harnu village, knows only too well what climate change has done to the Ganga basin in recent times.
हमको पानी की बड़ी दिक्कत पड़ती है। पानी यदि हम लोगों को मिलता रहे तो हम लोग खेती बाड़ी में अच्छा कार्य करें और अच्छी हमारी पर समस्या हल हो और बच्चों की पढ़ाई लिखाई, उन्ना कपड़ा, अन्य समस्याएं उनकी हम हल कर सकें। पानी का सैलाब जब आता है तो पानी वो बाहर सब निकल जाता है, पानी का कहीं रुकावट नहीं है।
Farmer Buddha witnessed positive change as help came to his village. Talk of recharging the groundwater began. Slowly but surely, these changes began to manifest. Building recharge wells and check dams to harvest rainwater soak pits to prevent runoff